To show you how to install R and RStudio on your own computer. This is what R looks like. It's just a command line interface. I don't know anybody that just uses R like this. This is RStudio, and down here in the bottom left-hand corner, that's R, and it does all. You can use it just like R, and all these other things are here to make using R a million times easier. So for instance, this is all this code that I've written that I can run, and when I run it, it's going to come down here. It'll be sent down here, right? It's like executing the commands. And then if I have an error or something, I can go back up here and edit it, etc., and move on. As opposed to typing a command into the command line, and if it doesn't work, just typing it again, or basically starting from scratch all the time. So again, we're not going to use R. And I'm going to go ahead and minimize RStudio. So to get R, you want to go to r-project.org. If you Google download R, you'll end up at the same place. You need to go to the download page in order to download it. There's a lot of other stuff going on here, but what we want is the download from CRAN. This is indicating the latest version, and whenever you watch this video, this may change. They come out pretty frequently. In fact, this is newer than the version of R that I believe I am running. So, sorry, I hit the CRAN button. CRAN is the comprehensive archive network. Okay. It basically means where you can get R. So these are all mirrors, which means all of these do the same thing, which is mirror a download. They're just hosting the same file. They're all hosting the same download file. Any of them will work. In theory, it'll go a little faster if you pick one somewhere near yourself. So I always go to Duke. And I am on a Mac, so I'm going to download here. And instead of immediately downloading, it brings you to this page and asks you one more question. Which version do you want? Well, generally speaking, you're going to want the latest stable version, which will always be showing up here. But I did not mean to do that. But if, like me, you're on a Mac, you'll notice there are two different versions for Mac OS. One is for 10.13 and higher, and the other is for, well, I don't know what the number is, but OS 11. So that's newer, right? And it says it works on Macs with the M1 chip or higher. It does not seem to run on an Intel Mac. Oh, yes, it says that very clearly here. And this one does. So what kind of Mac do you have? You go to the Apple and click on About This Mac. It'll try to tell you whatever it can. So my processor has the word Intel in it, which means Intel made it. That means I have to download this version up here, R421, not the ARM64 version. If you go here and your processor says it's a Mac M1 or M1 Ultra or M anything or Apple or whatever, that, download the other one. Yeah, when we download this, it's a package or PKG file, so I'm in Chrome, and when I do this, it shows up like so, and I will walk you through the rest of it. While we are waiting, we want to get RStudio as well, and that is rstudio.com. Pretty straightforward. And what we're going to want to do is go to Products. Again, you're confronted with a page that has a lot of information that's useful, but not if you're just looking to download R. Products, RStudio, the premier IDE for R. All right, there are two versions of RStudio. We want desktop. And our only option here is to do this. Download free RStudio Desktop Pro trial. Let's just take a quick look at that price. Okay. So I'm going to start downloading this. Choose your version. Well, you'll notice pretty big difference between these four options. So let me just focus on the two free ones. Again, we're not doing server, we're doing desktop. So download. And at last we are here, and I will hit download on this guy, and he's going to show up down here, or she. Not sure what that one was. So I'm going to go to downloads, and here is that package. I'm going to show it in the Finder. Here it is. What do you do with a package file? Well, you double click it, and it launches this little installer. And we know how to use these. Continue, 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 agree. Yep, we want to install it in the default location. That's actually kind of important. Okay, let me hit install. I already have, oh. I think I got that wrong. I already have this installed, so I have to do like I'm overwriting the version I have. That's fine. With both of these things, actually, that's fine. So exciting. Okay, I'm going to let this finish before I do our next install. Some installers get mad when you have two of them running at the same time. Very picky. Also, this doesn't take long. If you were wondering where it's installing, again on a Mac, it is going into your Mac hard drive, into your applications folder, and they called it R. You can see this updated May 31st, and this video is being recorded on August 23rd, so that may change at some point. All right, it's taking a little longer than I expected. Yeah, it just changed it. No, it didn't. Okay, well, let's double click this thing. This is a DMG file. What is that? It's short for disk image. This basically acts as if you plugged in like an external hard drive or a flash drive or something like that. Okay, what is in our little like temporary, oh, we're done. Okay, closed. Okay, then ask you if you want to move that package installer to the trash. Sure. Otherwise, it's just going to sit in your downloads folder and pollute it. It's only like 94K, but why do that? And you can see that R has been updated. Here's my R Studio, and I updated it about a month ago. What this is saying is, this is your application. This is what you want down here. This is a shortcut to your applications folder. That's what that little arrow means. So you can drag this to here. And I'm probably going to get a warning. Do I want to write over my R Studio app? That sounds bad. I do. That is how I can't. I gotta quit R Studio before I overwrite R Studio. One more time. And I'm gonna replace. Keeping both sounds very confusing. Okay, we have one more thing we're gonna have to download. I'll walk through that, but let me point one more thing out. On my desktop, I have R Studio 2022, blah, 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 blah. That's my disk image. That's not gonna go away until I reboot my computer, so we can throw it out. It's not there, we're not using it anymore. We copied from it what we needed. We can eject this media now, or can we? Does not want to eject. Well, anyways, let me bring this stuff back in. It's not still in use, is it? R Studio. July. Oh, yeah, it is. Okay, I guess I'm still installing. Sorry, R. Okay, well. Let's see, is my disk image still there, or is it like furious now? Oh, it went away. Okay, I may have broken the internet when I did that. Anyways, just don't do what I did. We do have one more thing to install, like I mentioned. We're going to install it from our studio, and it is called the tidyverse. So let me just show you. I'm back on, verifying. Okay, cool, it did succeed. I'm back on our rstudio.com page, and under, you don't have to do this, under products, this is what we downloaded before. I'm going to go to, oh, yep, you can open it. I'm going to go down to packages. And this is our package that we're going to use. But in fact, all of these packages are individual packages that are in the tidyverse, which are combined. Now, obviously, there's a lot to do with all of these things. Well, we start with the tidyverse. So, project site link, there it is. How do you install it? Well, you run this line in R Studio. Speaking of R Studio, I've already got a file open in R Studio. Let me just have a blank one, and I'll clear this out. Well, here's what that line said, and I'll make my text a little larger so you can see it. Install.packages, tidyverse, one word, all lowercase, in quotes. Now, I'm going to install this, and I got to give you all a warning. Mine just goes, ta-da, you're all set. And that's because I already had the tidyverse. and it just updated like this tiny little thing. Here's what's going to probably happen to you in the first time you install the tidyverse. Is down here in R, see where my cursor is? It's going to say something along the lines of like, do you want to install the, I don't even know what it says, like the base versions of all dependent, totally making this up, packages, some long prompt. And then after that it says, like, you don't type this, it's just going to print out. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Come on, get out of the way. And then it's going to say in parentheses, like, yes, no, or something like that. And so and then there's going to be a prompt. There's your R prompt. And so you have to go down. It's like the only time you have to type in R and not up here. You have to go in here and type capital Y, ES, and hit enter. Now, that's going to just generate an error because I've made up that prompt. But when you get that prompt, that is the trick, is to type in yes, and then it'll run. You'll notice that you may have to resize your window. Another thing that works sometimes is shrinking your text size. I'm hitting Command minus, and that makes my text a little smaller. Just don't leave it that way. Command 0 will reset things. And then you're all set. You should see the tidyverse listed here in the packages, which is the third tab over, and you can search for it by name, tidy, and if you click it on, you will see it load down here and you're ready to use the tidyverse. All right, that is, oh, and you'll get all this printout when you load the tidyverse. That's standard. That is my video on getting set up with R.